let's bring in the 21st head coach in the history of the Buffalo Bills. Kind enough to join us. Joe Brady is here on the program. Great to see you. How are you, Coach Brady? What's going on?
Not much. I appreciate you guys. Excited.
What's going on in your brain these days, man? What's going on?
I wish I could describe to you what's going on in here, but
right.
It's everything I've ever wanted right now in the place that I've wanted to be. So there's zero complaints.
Yeah, I mean, perma-smile, huh? Pretty much.
Everything.
Pretty much. And what was that moment like for you at that press conference, Joe?
Yeah, it's one of those things, right? You think you have an idea what that's going to look like, and you have whether you have a speech prepared or, and then when you get up there and it kind of all hits you, right? I'm so fortunate for the opportunities that I've had in the places that I've been, and the unique element of this place is I've worked here, so I know how important the people are, and I know the city, and so it really, I mean, we had a staff meeting right before, and I got just as emotional talking about Buffalo, and then I go up there and I'm like, okay, you know what, maybe I got it out of the way, and get up there again and I think about Buffalo, and when it gets me again, and so. It was obviously an incredible day yesterday. I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity, but I'm so grateful for where I get to do it.
Yeah, I bet for sure. And before we get to the here and now and the immediate future, I kind of want to rewind here a little bit. So, did Sean Payton give you your first start in the National Football League? Right,
He
with
did.
the Saints,
Yes.
Joe. And what he just found? Who connected you with Sean Payton?
So he's actually the offensive line coach now in New Orleans. He was a coaching assistant, Brendan Nugent, and he was getting promoted to the assistant O-line coach. And I was a graduate assistant at Penn State, and Nugent actually was one of my coaches quickly at William & Mary.
Right.
And so I remember I interviewed down. It was 2017, Valentine's Day, 2017. And next thing you know, I was got an opportunity to get, like I always talk about, I got my master's at Penn State, but I got my doctorate. I don't actually have a doctorate, but I got my doctorate in New Orleans, and getting to work for him and completely changed my career.
Well, I mean, obviously getting an opportunity there is one thing. What did you pick up from Sean Payton that you think you might bring to the sideline here in Buffalo?
You don't have enough time right now. Look, I got an opportunity. What's so unique about Coach Payton, and I got an opportunity to see how he ran his organization, how he sat in like a lot of times you work for a head coach, and I hope I'm not this way where, hey, I come up with ideas and then I just pass it to the quality control coach. They draw it, but they have no idea maybe why we're doing what we're doing. Like I got to sit there. Don't get me wrong. I probably lost years out of my life for the amount of hours that you spend there, but it was so unique and so such an experience to see one of the game's greatest minds, how he comes up with things. And I'm literally watching his mind work and understand what he thinks and how he thought and how he attacked not just weaknesses, but, finding ways to get your strengths against their weaknesses. And then just you take it from an X's and O's standpoint, and then you bring it to the locker room and in these meetings. And he's obviously learned so much from his, Coach Parcells, but just has such a great pulse on the locker room and the team and like what they needed. And look, I was only able to have, don't get me wrong, I had incredible football players at LSU, but I was able to go in there feeling confident that I can, install an offense and call a game because I saw kind of Coach Payton and learned how he kind of did everything.
Did you really have outstanding players at LSU? Because I'm just looking here and seeing Burrow, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase just for three.
Yeah, no, it was just coaching.
I guess you just rolled the footballs out, right? But
yeah,
what was that like, man? What was with Coach O? That must have been something else to be where you were. 60 touchdowns, Burrow, pointing to his ring finger. Some of the best that we have seen in the NFL, young players all together with you, helping, put it together. What was that like, man?
Well, I mean, it starts with Coach O. Like when you really think about it, I mean, he's LSU's head football coach, and he goes and hires a coaching assistant, a guy that's never even had a room before. It wasn't like I was the quarterback coach at LSU in New Orleans, right? I'm the assistant to the assistant, right? Like Drew Brees, if I didn't get him coffee, but if he needed coffee, I'd probably be getting it for him, right? And next thing you know, he's trusting me to kind of change the landscape of his organization. And I try to put myself in those shoes. Like, would I have been able to do that? Like, would I do that right now? And you know, that speaks to the volume and kind of who he was. And he was consistent with it all the way. He literally said, "Hey, this is you. You kind of do what you got to do, man. I trust you with it." And I was able to do it with Steve Ensminger out there. And I knew early on, like, all of those guys were there the year before. And but they bought into everything that and Burrow kind of, he obviously ran the ship there. But once you got a feel of kind of who they were, and they tasted a little bit of success and felt the newness and the energy, I could have called anything and they would have made it work.
Well, I mean, you could have called anything, and blamed it on Coach O, because no one could understand him, right? Like, were there ever times when you were just like, "Come on, say that again, Coach," because you couldn't understand a word he was saying?
Joe, if you want me to be honest,
Please.
when Coach, I got a text from Coach O, was like, "Hey, I'd love to talk to you about an opportunity down here." And I remember Googling what's the polite and correct way to ask what on a consistent basis, because I was really nervous of it. I watched a couple of his press conferences, but then once you're around Coach O, man, you know exactly what he means. He says what's on his mind. But I was really concerned about that because, I mean, he's Louisiana, and this is me living in New Orleans. But look, I have so much love for Coach O and who he is, and he that's who. But I still don't know what that answer is. Fortunately, I was able to pick up a couple of his words, but it's the truth.
That is so funny. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, Joe Brady here on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, so let's get to the here and now. Your relationship with one of the best of all time, and a human too, man, in Josh Allen. Walk me through what your relationship is with him, Joe Brady. How do you describe it?
Yeah, it's honestly, it's hard to kind of put into words. And like my he's the best in the game, right? And we're all good coaches when we coach good players. I'm understanding of that, but he's helped elevate. He's changed how I coach. He's changed the mindset and the way that I go about when I prepare, and the confidence I go into it in games. And you understand, I was let go in Carolina. I was let go in Carolina 12 games into my last year there, right? And so I'm coming here and I give Coach McDermott so much credit for, like, I can't thank him enough to give me the opportunity to kind of lead his organization. Like, when you coach Josh Allen, I mean, that's the organization. And it meant the world to me, because I'm coming from a place where I just got let go. What's this look like? And Josh accepted me and accepted coaching, and our relationship has just grown where we can be completely honest with one another. We don't agree on everything. We can butt heads. We can hold each other accountable, but we know that we each love each other, and all we care about is each other's success. And I want Josh Allen to get everything that he deserves. Like, that's why I do what I do. I see the way that he plays the game. He plays the game the right way, the way that he should be hosting trophies. And that's all I want from him. I mean, look at that right there, right? Like, I'm seeing him stiff arm guys. Like, he's a quarterback. And it drives me crazy every single time he takes a hit or he does a stiff arm, but it is who he is. And I love that man. And I just want him to have all the success. And I just hope that I can just do everything I can to get him everything he deserves.
Now, listen, McDermott's awesome, and I understand. When I just went through this with Jesse Minter yesterday when I chatted with him, that when any questions how you're going to do it differently might put you in a position where you sound like you're denigrating your predecessor, which you don't.
Right.
So that's my way of setting this up. But, I'm imagining, McDermott clearly delegated lots to you, but not 100%. I mean, head coaches have final say on a lot of things. How will things potentially be different now that you have the final say on everything, Joe Brady?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just understanding, and like I said it yesterday, I'm walking into this organization in a much better way, in a much better position than when Coach McDermott did. And the expectations and everything that comes with it. And we have to embrace that. And we got to work for it. There's nothing that's going to be easy about it, but it can't just be Sean McDermott out, Joe Brady in, and then it's just business as usual. And I think that's important for everybody to kind of understand in the organization, that there's going to be a different energy and a different vibe by the way that we do things. And that's not changing the culture. That's not saying what we did wasn't working. But that just saying that, hey, there needs to be a different element and a different mindset so that we can ultimately get what we want and what the city of Buffalo deserves. And there's going to be change, and I think the guys are going to feel it. And it's important that they feel the different energy and the vibe in the offseason when they show up. And I hope that my hope is that the team takes on the identity that I believe our offense kind of did last year, of everybody playing together and caring more about the man next to them's success than their own. And I'm excited. This is the time of the year where you don't get to be with the guys, and it's going to drive me crazy. So I'm grateful that the new coaches players get to come in early. So because we coach because of our players.
Have you reached out to Keon Coleman?
Absolutely.
Can you share me the conversation and how he is? Because was he front and center for a lot of conversation prior to your hiring, and based on, the press conference that announced the departure of Sean McDermott, Joe.
Yeah. There was a little party yesterday we had and I told him exactly what I told Keon. I told Keon that the best thing that's ever going to happen to Keon Coleman is that I got named head football coach. And the same guy that stood on a table and wanted Keon Coleman is the same guy that's going to be doing everything he can to continue to get Keon Coleman to reach the level that we know he can. And he's going to be a Buffalo Bill. And look, obviously there's elements of conversations from a couple weeks ago, but just like people talk about like, hey, what's the change in vision? I just kind of talked about the direction that we're going. And with Keon Coleman, I have all the faith in him, and he has all the talent. And he continues the only thing that got in the way this year was some elements off the field, and he learned from them. And I'm really excited for him to kind of get rolling with him again and getting in the chemistry again with Josh. But he has all the talent and everything that we drafted him to be. I believe he can still be. And the fact that I'm the head football coach, I think is the best thing for him.
And why is that? Like, what put a little more meat on that bone, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like, I'm not going to let Keon Coleman fail. And I know he's gone through some things, and as the head football coach, making sure that I have a system in place, and understanding, some of the things that have gone on with him. And, but he's an extremely talented player, and all I want is for him to be successful. And you see the big playability and the opportunities that he's had. And him not playing or him not being on the field was not because of his play. I think just putting a system in place, and I think no matter what, even if we do nothing, he's going to be better because of this year and going through this stuff and not having an opportunity to play football. But the confidence and belief that I had in him and have in him isn't going to change, and we're going to do everything we can so that he can be successful.
So, and one other aspect of that press conference, Joe Brady, that stood out was the owner, Terry Pegula's clear disappointment in results. And obviously, it's a result-oriented business.
Yep.
And what the results need to be in order for this to be considered a step forward. How do you handle that? How do you absorb that and also send it out as a message to your group?
Yeah, I think, there's a standard here in Buffalo, and there's expectations here in Buffalo, and we're going to embrace it. Like, we're not going to shy away from it. Like, no one rises to low expectations. It is what it is. I'm not going to work any harder than I would have been if I was taking over a 1-15 team. Like, there's an expectation, there's a mindset, there's a way that I go about things. And I don't feel like I have to change who I am, because now that I'm in the head coaching role, like, this is the same work ethic, same approach that I had when I was working for Coach Payton, when I was a GA for James Franklin. And I believe in my ability to lead and put a team together. And we're not going to focus on the end result. We're going to just have the competitive stamina to just keep going and every single day. And I think the results will take care of themselves.
So I would be remiss before I let you go, Joe Brady. When you were in Carolina, you mentioned 2021, and you were let go in the middle of that season. Sam Darnold was there, and look who's in the Super Bowl and Super Bowl 60. What's your opinion of Sam's ascension and where he is right now as we're talking, Joe?
I couldn't be happier for him. It was such a unique situation for him going from the New York Jets and then his experience there, and then going to Carolina, and we kind of walked into the exact same situation. And I remember we started 3-0, and he was you can tell it was a different look on his face, like hadn't been used to that. And but he has all the talent in the world, and getting in an going in some of these organizations that has so much belief in him and allow him to just be Sam Darnold. And look, man, I have nothing but love for him. I'm so excited for him. He deserves all of this. It speaks volumes to a guy like that. Has gone from organizations, has been doubted, has had to been a backup, and gets the opportunity again, makes the most of it, and has to go do it again. I mean, he's been doubted, and he's got an opportunity to go hoist the trophy, and I couldn't be happier for him.
Man, this league, that's the only thing I could say, right? This league, that you wind up going to Carolina after you have that success. There's remarkable success at LSU. It doesn't work out for you. And in 2021, you're let go. Darnold has one more year to go in Carolina. And here we are, January 30th, 2026. He's the representative for the NFC champions going to the Super Bowl, and you're the 21st head coach of the Buffalo Bills. And probably neither of you would have believed it if either of us walked up to you and said, "Don't worry, man, Joe, you're let go here. You're going to be the Bills coach in 5 years." And right. Sam, get it. You might feel like this isn't working out right now. You're going to go to the Super Bowl in 5 years. You can't make this up.
You can't. You can't. And I think that's why you don't think about, you just be where your feet are, do what you have to do. And if you're concerned about the next move or what the future looks like, you're not going to do the best job you can be in your current job. And I had to call it a step backwards. I got to coach Josh Allen, but I wanted to call plays immediately. And I needed to humble myself and say, hey, I've been in one opportunity for so long, in the same system, in the New Orleans system for so long. I need newness, and it might open doors for me to be a part of something and open my eyes. And I think Sam was the exact same situation, going out to San Fran, what it did for him, and when he got those opportunities again. So I'm so excited to watch him play next week.
Well, and I'm excited for you, Joe. I mean, talk about a position. In Buffalo, going into a new stadium with a fan base that just adores the team, and vice versa. And you get to coach Josh Allen, which is a dream come true, and you're already connected to him in a way. And I think he's even going to be better when he's a dad. You know what I mean? Like this, it changes your life, and it changes who you are as a professional. And I couldn't congratulate you enough. So congrats, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
All right, man. I'll see you at the Combine.
You got it.
All right.
Can't wait.
And neither of us are paying. I'll see you
Absolutely.
there. Okay. Oh, yeah. Take care of yourself, Joe. You be well.
I appreciate you.
Right.
Thank you.
Joe Brady, the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.